Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Friday, May 6, 2022. I am Timothy Jaikor and thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Guyana, Brazil signed PACT to see more intelligence sharing, seizure of assets in crime probes. Airlines urged to make traveling more convenient as Guyana-China relations grow. Quarantine businessman dies after motorcycle and car collide at NIGG. Driver's license exams to go online, says the Guyana Police Force. And no danger for Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine recipients, says the Health Minister after FDA decision. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Irfaan Ali today welcomed his Brazilian counterpart, Jair Bolsonaro, in Georgetown for a one-day visit, during which several high-level meetings and discussions were held. High on the agenda were talks on energy, infrastructure development, and food security. The two leaders committed to collaborating on a number of initiatives in these areas. Vanu Manikchan has the details.
Friday's discussions between Guyana's President Dr. Irfaan Ali and Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro were a continuation of ongoing talks. Apart from teleconferences, the two heads of state had met back in January in Suriname, where trilateral talks were held on a number of areas, including establishing an energy corridor between the three South American neighbors. President Ali said on Friday that him and his Brazilian counterpart have agreed to an actionable framework to move forward with these extensive discussions held.
The focus being on that integrated project that involves the deepwater port, the road-rail link, fiber optic connectivity, energy corridor, development of an energy corridor, the creation of a free zone, and the linkage of natural resource development to this project. So we're not only talking about the deep water port in isolation of these things. It is now one integrated project that we're looking at, and we've agreed to establish a team that will comprise of investors, the federal government of Brazil, the government of Guyana, the state of Roraima, and define a time path through which we'll move this project forward in an accelerated way.
Additionally, the two heads of state made commitments to collaborate in the oil and gas industry with a focus on renewable energy.
We have discussed working together on a natural gas strategy and how that can be integrated in the development of Brazil, and how we can coordinate and cooperate in this area, the potential of hydro, renewable energy, and to look at this in a holistic frame in terms of energy production. We also discuss areas that we can see cooperation in oil and gas. The experience of Brazil in the management of the oil and gas industry itself is immense.
Meanwhile, in the area of agriculture, talks were also held on expanding markets, the removal of trade barriers, creating a hub for processing and transshipment of agri-produce and products to the CARICOM region using Guyana as a hub, sourcing investors and using new technology in this sector. President Bolsonaro, via a translator, spoke of Brazil's own advancement in the agriculture sector while indicating that he will further encourage Brazilian investors to tap into opportunities in Guyana.
On the agricultural chapter, we actually took a step ahead in our private meeting where we said or stated that Brazil in a few years will become more than self-sufficient. After this visit, we will further encourage and incentivize members of the Brazilian business community to further invest in Guyana. So our visit here has been very promising for our countries and our peoples. Guyana has a bright and promising future ahead, especially given its major oil and gas potentialities, but also because of the way your government has fostered closer and closer relations with Brazil. We are and stand as partners, and I'm quite certain, Mr. President, fruits will be reaped as a result of this visit of ours, or meeting of ours today.
Friday's visit by the Brazilian president comes just over 3 months after he was forced to cancel his trip to Georgetown following the death of his mother on January 21st. Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manakchand.
Guyana and its Portuguese-speaking neighbor Brazil have agreed to enhance collaboration in the area of security with focus on strengthening capacity as well as intelligence sharing to boost border safety. Additionally, the two South American nations signed bilateral treaties for international legal cooperation in civil matters as well as mutual legal assistance in criminal matters. These important pacts were entered into today following a high-level state visit by Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro to Guyana. Vanu Manakchan joins us again with the details.
During Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro's one-day state visit to Georgetown on Friday, the two neighboring heads of state and their respective delegations had extensive discussions on a number of areas, including security. According to President Dr. Irfan Ali, the security talks focused on hardware and software technology as well as building and strengthening human resource capacity.
We will be working out and coordinating efforts in these three areas in terms of security and defense. Hardware, software, technology, which includes intelligence sharing, a master plan, a security master plan that supports the security architecture of both countries and our shared responsibilities and shared challenges, and looking at ways in which we can deploy technology and a joint approach in securing our borders.
The Guyanese leader made this remark following the signing of two bilateral agreements between Guyana and Brazil that will see the countries collaborating on seizure and disposal or exchange of assets during criminal investigations and prosecution.
In accordance with the provisions of the treaty, the parties shall provide mutual assistance in connection with investigation or prosecution of criminal offenses, including the restraint, seizure, or confiscation, as well as disposal and return of assets. The central authorities for executing the provisions of the treaty are for the Government of Guyana, the Attorney General's Chambers and Ministry of Legal Affairs, and for the Government of Brazil, the Ministry of Justice and Public Security. In accordance with the provisions of the Treaty on Mutual Legal Assistance in Civil Matters, the parties mutually agree to provide full legal cooperation in civil matters, which involve civil, corporate, labor, and administrative law, as well as criminal sentences which seek compensation for damages in the civil courts. The central authorities for executing the provisions of the treaty are for the Government of Guyana, the Attorney General's Chambers and Ministry of Legal Affairs, and for the Government of Brazil, the Ministry of Justice and Public Security.
The expansive border between Guyana and Brazil is largely porous and has been a security concern for Guyanese authorities, especially as it relates to various trafficking crimes. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
As the people-to-people relationship between Guyana and China continues to grow, especially with the two nations celebrating 50 years of diplomatic ties this year, airlines are being encouraged to make traveling between the two countries easier. The call was made by Chinese ambassador to Guyana during an exclusive interview with the Evening News on Friday. Amar Prasad reports.
As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, international travel was gravely affected. But as the global economy is reopening and people are traveling more, stakeholders are expected to see a rise in the transport of people between Guyana and China. With deepening relations between the two countries at various levels, Chinese ambassador to Guyana, Guo Haiyan, says travel between the two nations can be easier. She made these remarks during an exclusive interview with the Evening News on Friday.
COVID-19 has brought a great inconvenience to people, the people-to-people exchanges, and And actually, the face-to-face exchanges between our two countries at all levels decreased significantly. Although we still have frequent contacts by virtual link, we are ready to resume the people-to-people exchanges at all levels with Guyana when the situation turns better. We'll resume gradually people-to-people exchanges, and we will encourage airlines to increase flights because when the situation is better, because the travel demand is going up.
When asked about the possibility of direct flights between Guyana and China, the ambassador explained that the first step is to have travel between the two countries return to normal, and then as demand grows, this is an option that can be considered by stakeholders in the industry.
Because of the COVID-19, some airlines cut down the numbers of flights. So I think first step, when this COVID-19 situation turns better, so first step is to resume the flight to make it more convenient. And because the direct flight depends on the market, how many passengers will take on the start from Guyana, from Georgetown. So it's will follow the market rule. But when the situation is better, we will encourage the airline to bring more convenience to the travelers.
Guyana and China are celebrating 50 years of diplomatic relations, a milestone which Ambassador Haiyan is excited to be commemorating.
This year is the marks the 50th anniversary, and Guyana took the lead in Caribbean to establish diplomatic relations with China. So we regard Guyana as a very important partner in this region. And we are happy to see that Guyana is playing a more and more important role in regional development. So we are ready to work together with Guyana for better cooperation between China and the Caribbean countries.
For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
To develop the skills needed to manage Guyana's booming oil and gas sector, India has presented a proposal to the government of Guyana to train executives and those associated with the sector. All expenses pertaining to training would be taken care by the government of India. Lawana McAllister tells us more.
High Commissioner to Guyana Dr. K.J. Srinivasa echoed this initiative during an interview with the Evening News on Wednesday. Dr. Srinivasa explained that this is premised on the fact that India has several multinational oil companies worth billions of dollars that are involved in upstream, downstream, midstream, and distribution operations.
In India, we have about 4 or 5 big multinational level companies, but these are public sector enterprises. These are $100 billion, $200 billion worth of companies who are involved in upstream, midstream and downstream operations across India. They are also involved in distribution, so refining, distribution, etc. So we have proposed in that MOU for training of executives from Guyana in India.
India has over the years provided the necessary avenues to train Guyanese in almost every sector. Nevertheless, the Guyana government has reiterated its commitment to ensuring that Guyanese reap the benefits of the oil industry by providing them with the necessary skills and expertise to fill jobs. In fact, shortly after assuming office in 2020, President Irfan Ali announced plans to establish a world-class, world-rated national oil and gas training center here to train local and Caribbean workers. Costing some $20 million, the training center will be located at Lusignan, East Coast, Demerara. This is not the first time the Indian government has indicated its interests in Guyana's oil sector. In fact, India has brought its first cargo of light sweet crude from Guyana. It was reported that a 1 million barrel cargo of Guyana's Lisa light sweet crude set sail for offshore Guyana on March 2, 2021 on the Marshall Islands flagged tanker Sea Garnet bound for India's Mandra port.
So far we have done 2 lifts from Guyana last March, April and in July last year. So we are working on various options with the government of Guyana. So as and when we have the news of any updates, we will inform you.
Lawana McAllister for the Evening News.
Coming up, Corentyne businessman dies after motorcycle and car collide at NIGG, and the government determined to take decision-making to the people, says President Ali.
Get in the game, get in the game, get in the game with Buster, play.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, Xbox X Series. Just purchase any bottle of Buster, Turbo, Altitude, Classic, or Viva and look for the code on the bottle. Then visit Buster Instagram and Facebook at Buster Guyana for more details.
Hi, I'm Roel, your favorite, reliable, and most innovative florist. And this Mother's Day is Sunday, the 8th of May, 2022. We have a wide array of fresh floral arrangements for you at Fogarty's Building, conveniently located right in Water Street. Call me on 641-2255 or come down to Fogarty's Building and tell me what is it you would like.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
SUPERBET safety tips to help fight COVID-19. Practice regular washing of hands with soap and water or alcohol-based solution. Remember to always wear your mask whenever in public areas to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces daily with soap and water or detergent. Practice physical distancing by staying at least 6 feet away from others. SUPERBET cares about you. Let's help keep each other safe.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Hi, I'm Roel, your favorite, reliable, and most innovative florist. And this Mother's Day is Sunday, the 8th of May, 2022. We have a wide array of fresh floral arrangements for you at Fogarty's Building, conveniently located right in Water Street. Call me on 641-2255 or come down to Fogarty's Building and tell me what is it will.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A Corentyne businessman is now dead after the motorcycle he was riding this morning collided with a car at NIGG along the Corentyne Highway in Region 6, East Berbice, Corentyne. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports that the driver of the car, an intoxicated woman, is currently in police custody.
Dead is 41-year-old Rajinder Kadaru, called Andy, of Albion Front, Corentyne. He operated a restaurant at Albion and a mobile food unit at Rose Hall Town. The accident reportedly occurred shortly after 5 hours on Friday morning along the NIGG Public Road, Region 6. Reports are that a driver of the car, who had just left an entertainment spot, swerved from the left to the right lane in an attempt to enter a street. As a result, she collided with the motorcycle, which was being ridden by Kadaru, who was returning home from Masjid. A breathalyzer test conducted on the driver revealed that her alcohol level exceeded the legal limit. The dead man's cousin, Shibika Hamid Khan, said it was 5 hours 20 when they received information indicating that Kadaru passed away.
Well, we found out where they was at the time, and they told us they were at the hospital, so that's where we went, at Portland Hospital. When we got there, that's when we come to understand that he was involved in an accident. It appears that he would have had a head injury, neck, like different parts of his body. There was blood. It seems to me he had severe injuries.
According to one eyewitness, the car driver, after coming out of the car, reportedly went to the motionless Kadaru and asked him if he was okay. The eyewitness, who arrived on the scene shortly after the impact, said the driver seemed to have difficulty standing straight and might have been under the influence of alcohol.
He's a Muslim, and as Ramadan would have recently concluded, you have 6 days where you it's kind of like a custom to fast for 6 more days. And my cousin was observing that every single day, not only this morning, not only in Ramadan, but every day he would frequent the mosque for Fajr prayers, which is usually around 4:45.
Kadaru does biking as a hobby, but according to his cousin, the man was always careful.
He has bikes, and if you would I think he's in one of those biker clubs thing, but anybody would tell you he's one of the most sober-headed, calm riders there is. And he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't party. Usually when they have a ride on the road, he's always the one riding at the back. He would laugh and say he's the father of the group. He got to see all of them.
Kadaru lives to mourn his wife and 1 child. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
The Guyana Police Force is currently establishing in Region 6 East Berbice Quarantine 2 new IT centers which will be used for 3 purposes: training of police officers, online theoretical driver's examination, and training of persons in various communities. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us again to report that the centers will also assist school children with printing and compiling of their SBAs.
At Central Police Station in New Amsterdam, Region 6, a ZARA Center is being established. ZARA is one of the partners with the Guyana Police Force since 2013. The organization has assisted with the information technology component of the force. According to Deputy Commissioner Calvin Brutus, the recreational hall at Central Police Station is being divided in 2, with 1 half being used to establish the center. 30 systems will be housed there. The center will also be used for training.
The training is envisaged to touch on training members of the Guyana Police Force, that's on 1 level, training for youth scouts and other members of the community under the Community Relations Program, and that falls under the strategic priority of partnership under our Strategic Plan 2022-2026. This is a new strategic plan which is soon to be launched.
According to the Deputy Commissioner, qualified persons will be assigned to the new center to provide training in relation to information technology. This service will soon be extended to the public and will cater for school-age children.
There are 5 subject areas identified by the ZARA group that we can provide assistance in. Math and English, of course, those 2 core subjects, and EDPM and 2 others, social studies and another, integrated science. So those are the 5 subject areas that they will be assisting. That center is also envisaged to assist youths from the general area to do their SBAs and so on. We know SBA is a costly thing for many persons, and at times you find youths who are of CXCH at school going around with a sheet asking for donations for assistance to do the SBAs. So these centers will be able to assist them to provide assistance to help them to do their SBA, first of all, because we'll have people qualified here to help to print and bind their SBA, matter of fact, make it complete and ready for submission.
For youths who are part of the Police Youth Group program and will be using the center, transportation will be provided for them to and from home. Meanwhile, the theoretical driver's examination will also be facilitated through the centers. According to Brutus, the examinations will be virtual. These examinations are likely to be held within 2 weeks in New Amsterdam, at Adventure, where a ZARA center has already been established, and at the Springlands Police Station, where a similar ZARA center is being established. By August, the backlog of persons who are waiting to write the examination should be cleared up, and the system should be fully online.
That system includes having all the lectures done now by our certified officers to candidates in the classroom, Those will be made into audio, video lectures on each topic areas. Very detailed, and that's what we're doing now. We wanted to make it so detailed that it covers all the possible questions the student will ask.
Persons can go to the official police website and read the driver's training manual, and when ready, make the relevant payments through Demerara Bank or from their mobile phones through MMG. Reuters said within 5 seconds of submitting their answer sheets, the applicant should have a printed form of their preliminary results. The new system is geared to eliminate possible instances of corruption by members of the traffic department. The center is expected to be up and running in just over 1 week. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Allowing Guyanese to be part of the decision-making aspect in communities and for the country's future development is a fundamental pillar in the government's drive towards achieving great governance. In this report, President Dr. Irfan Ali spoke extensively on this. Here's a look.
President Dr. Irfan Ali appeared on the virtual talk show, The One Guyana Journal, where he expressed that for the One Guyana policy to be successful, it requires individual and collective efforts. Part of this initiative, he outlined, is inclusivity. As such, senior government officials and cabinet members are engaging everyone during consultations that will affect citizens.
The leaders of this government, the ministers and the president, the vice president, the prime minister. We are not going and hide in a room and have a meeting with 10 people. We are going to the communities in the open, inviting everyone. Every single person can come to those meetings. Those meetings are then televised, live. They're streamed live on Facebook. We're not hiding any comments from anyone. Anyone in that audience can get up and say anything they want. They can be critical of the government. They can be critical of a minister. They can be critical of a regional regional official. Any issue they have can be brought up in this big tent approach where every single person is involved. Decisions are made there on the ground in consultation with the people. Their ideas, their views is all brought on one table in the open.
Ali outlined that it is part of the bigger picture where citizens develop a sense of ownership for issues ongoing in the communities and the solutions that follow.
It is not only taking governance to the people, Dr. Tara. It is not only taking governance to the people. It is taking decision making to the people. Governance is one aspect, but decision making in consultation with the people is what makes a difference, because it creates ownership. People feel part of the decision-making process. People feel involved, and that is what leads to great governance, not good governance, great governance. And what we are pursuing is great governance.
Since stepping into government in August 2020, the One Guyana motto has been trademarked to create oneness, but Ali said it will govern the future developmental aspects of the country.
My call to every single Guyanese is this bus is moving forward. Yes, we don't know it all. Yes, there will be challenges. Yes, there will be bumps along the road. But how do we deal with those challenges? We deal with those challenges by, first of all, agreeing together. So the One Guyana concept, it is not only a concept that is that should be viewed as a unification of the people. That is an important aspect. That is an end result. But in that unification, it is us understanding our individual and collective role in pursuing an agenda, a development path that builds a country that is defined by oneness in everything we do.
Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Recipients of the Johnson & Johnson J&J COVID-19 vaccine should not panic amid the recommendation of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, for the limited use of the jabs. This was the position shared by Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony today.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced on Thursday that it is limiting the emergency use authorization of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine to adults or those for which other vaccines are not appropriate. The decision was due to the risk of a rare clotting condition called thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome after receiving the vaccine.
Thrombocytopenia after the vaccine is a very, very rare thing. So it occurs, you have about 3.25 cases per every million doses administered. So it's very rare. Nevertheless, the FDA in the United States have decided to take these precautions because they have other vaccines that are available.
On Friday, however, the health minister ventilated why recipients should not panic.
Persons who have received Johnson & Johnson vaccines, they don't have to panic, because if you have received the vaccine and you had no complications, then you wouldn't have any complications now. Generally, after vaccination, you would see thrombocytopenia developing about a week, 2 weeks after the vaccination. So if you've had the vaccine and nothing happened, then you're not in danger.
Vaccination against COVID-19 has remained relatively low, with adult coverage standing at 440,628 first doses, or 85.9%, and 339,960 second doses, or 66.3%. For the adolescent category, some 25,301, or 34.7%, have been fully immunized. Almost 62,900 booster shots have been administered. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Saturday, May 7, 2022, at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed on Saturday, May 7, 2022, at 7 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Athlete with pacemaker to participate in upcoming bodybuilding competition, and former Windies opener surprised that no T20 vice captain was named. Details of these stories and more in the Sportscast sponsored by Macorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Hi, I'm Roel, your favorite reliable and most innovative florist. And this Mother's Day is Sunday, the 8th of May, 2022. We have a wide array of fresh floral arrangements for you at Fogarty's Building, conveniently located right in Water Street. Call me on 641-2255 or come down to Fogarty's Building and tell me what it would like.
Get in the game, get in the game, get in the game with Buster, play.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, Xbox X Series. Just purchase any bottle of Buster, Turbo, Altitude, Classic, or Viva and look for the code on the bottle. Then visit Buster Instagram and Facebook at Buster Guyana for more details.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality, or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
Yeah, ready? We are short so far. Look along, me tell you, buy one generator. Now the picnic online test and blackout come and cut off everything. Sorry, son. Radhika, Abby go tomorrow. Abby go now.
At Sylvie's, we stock products from more than 22 different sectors in mining, construction, food processing, vulcanizing, home improvements, and more.
Are you getting generator?
So this is a 3000 better star generator. This will work for your lights, your fan, your TV, and your fridge.
Well, Abby can buy one for Abby and
Yes.
Abby can buy one for Mommy too.
Yeah, and mommy can even key start it, cause all you have to do is hook up the battery and
Visit us today at 31 High and Hatfield Street, where our friendly and knowledgeable team members are willing to assist you. You can also call us on 227-6243 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 and shop via our website at www.sylviesonline.com.
Abby go buy one doll pulling mill,
one plucking machine, one pressure washing machine, one juice dispenser, one engine, one pepper grinding machine, one water pump, one sugar cane juicer, circle saw. We gotta get alright then food warmer. We gotta get. What are you looking at?
Hi, I'm Roel, your favorite reliable and most innovative florist. And this Mother's Day is Sunday, the 8th of May, 2022. We have a wide array of fresh floral arrangements for you at Fogarty's Building, conveniently located right in Water Street. Call me on 641-2255 or come down to Fogarty's Building and tell me what is it you would like to